Demon Diddy, y'all know he is currently in jail. He's been in jail for a couple months now up in New York, awaiting trial. He is facing charges of RICO, trafficking, all sorts of very, very serious allegations his way, right? And so there have been some witnesses who testified to the grand jury and everything like that. One of whom is named Courtney Burgess, and now he's getting sued by Diddy. Shout out to TMZ for breaking this story. Diddy is also suing the witness's lawyer Ariel Mitchell as well for, quote, spreading outlandish claims and baseless speculation to feed the public's desire for wild lies. I didn't even know it was possible. I feel like the more I see of these cases, the more I'm kind of shocked at the sorts of things that are like possible for you to do, y'all. Like, really, you can sue someone for being a witness against you? Like, that feels like insane to me, but I digress. So apparently Courtney has been saying that he's got tapes of Diddy, Diddy's freak-offs involving underage people, all sorts of things like that, celebrities, etc. Diddy saying, nope, take that. Those tapes do not exist. Okay, you were just telling blatant lies or making recklessly false statements, and you need to pay for that. And he's also fighting against Courtney's claims that he has a copy of Kim Porter's memoir. Do you guys remember that? That was such a sad day on YouTube. I got to tell you guys, okay? There was this person, and it wasn't this guy in particular. There was someone else, but this was one of the people saying, oh, like, one of Diddy's baby mamas, Kim Porter, before she passed away, she wrote a memoir. I've got access to it, blah, blah, blah. There was another person who has nothing to do with any of these people who wrote a BS memoir, sold it on Amazon, and a bunch of people went and bought it without even verifying anything, right? Like, and then the guy comes out and says, oh, by the way, like, I can't verify anything. I don't actually know these people. Like, the thirst, y'all, the thirst, right? So this is another person who had made rumors about there being a memoir. Diddy saying none of this exists. You and your lawyer, you're just out here spreading lies and trying to get some money out of me. So he is ultimately looking for $50 million, you guys, okay? His children have also filed a cease and desist against this guy, stopping him from continuing to talk about having access to some sort of memoir from their mother, block the potential release of it, etc. So the guy who is currently being sued, Courtney Burgess, and his lawyer have released a statement to TMZ saying, and I quote, "This is just a pathetic ploy to silence victims and people who stand up for victims. Diddy has time to sue, but refuses to accept service for the lawsuits already filed against him. I look forward to countersuing and ensuring the court punishes not only Diddy, but also his lawyers who filed this pathetic lawsuit for this frivolous and meritless filing." So now I gotta ask y'all, do you believe Diddy? Because I think it's a major thing to go ahead and sue somebody and their lawyer and say, you're lying because this does not exist, this never happened. Here's my thing. I can believe that the freak-offs and stuff happened, right? But I can also believe that perhaps this particular person knows nothing about that, or that perhaps what this person is describing the freak-offs as being is not what the freak-offs were, and that's why Diddy feels so confident to sue, because there's a lot of people out there who have alleged a lot of things, right? We saw Cassie. Diddy didn't sue her. He settled immediately. There was another member from Diddy Dirty Money, Danny D. Kane, Making the Band. All sorts of people have come out, and he has not sued a single one of these people, only this guy. So that leads me to believe that there's something about this in particular that makes Diddy so confident that he's going to go ahead and sue this person and this person's lawyer. I don't know. I just get that vibe, y'all. I get the vibe. Colton says, I love Diddy in A Raisin in the Sun. Felicia Rashad was his co-star in that. Between Cosby and Diddy, she can't catch a break with her poor VPOS co-stars. Poor Felicia. And she's such an elegant, lovely woman, right? Anik says, Anik, am I pronouncing this? Is it Anik or Anike? The tapes don't exist or they've been successfully destroyed. Right, I get the vibe that something, even just like on the memoir front, maybe the memoir doesn't exist or maybe it was destroyed. And that's why Diddy feels comfortable or confident suing this particular person. Kind of think Diddy's going to F off, the devil will walk. Oh Lord, I truly, truly hope that that is not the case. I would hate to see that. He really, really needs to spend the rest of his life in prison. He did in my opinion, right? He allegedly did too many terrible things, way too many terrible things. Thank you, Anike. I did think the person is lying. They should be stopped. If the person, Diddy's bad behavior does not need assistance. Exactly. And that makes me really nervous, going back to you as well, April, about all the people coming out with like fake stories, right? There have been people who have been proven to be lying about Diddy, right? There's a woman whose ex-boyfriend even said, listen, she tried to get me in on this. I said, absolutely not. Like, there are always ambulance chasers, right? And I really, really hope that they do not mess this up for real victims, because I do believe that there are real victims, and a hell of a lot of them, right? Boss Lady says a guy that wrote that book said he added stuff to it. So everyone is questionable. Exactly. The lawyer is shady to be dealing the videos. Exactly. So keep an eye out, you guys. A lot of strange things happening. There truly are a lot of ambulance chasers when it comes to this Diddy situation. Unfortunately, there are people who are just trying to cash in as quickly as possible. They're like, oh, look at all these lawsuits. They're not going to have enough time to like really parse through mine, blah, blah, blah. Like stuff like that, y'all. Stuff like that. Now let's get into Fitz Brown. I'm sorry to leave y'all on this note, because this is the last story I have, but we're going to get into Fitz Brown. You know what's so crazy, y'all? I used to love Chris Brown. I was the biggest Chris Brown stan. Anybody who knows me in person would know I rode hard for him. Like, do you know that movie that Donald Glover released on Amazon Prime in 2024 called Swarm, about like parasocial relationships? Like, I was low-key, like, it could have been a documentary on me. Like, I was obsessed with him. So just seeing what he turned into is just so sad for me. It really, really is. I'm disappointed. I truly am. I did not choose well. So I apologize to my past self for that, but whatever. He is suing Warner Brothers for $500 million over the allegations of SA in a documentary. So a couple of months ago, Warner Brothers produced a documentary about Chris Brown, and then they had a bunch of people come out here and accuse him of various things, including SA. And Chris Brown is just not happy about it. So one of the people featured in the doc was a Jane Doe who sued him for allegedly rugging and assaulting her at a party in 2020 on Diddy's yacht. And then we already know in 2009, Chris Brown, he viciously beat his then girlfriend, Rihanna. So he's got a very, very bad history, right, with women. We already know what he did with Karrueche Tran. She got a restraining order against him. He threw a chair out the window in busy New York after a Good Morning America segment where they tried to hold him accountable for his actions against Rihanna. Like, the guy he's not okay. He's not safe. Like, there are a lot of just very, very bad things that come with him. And so of course they would ultimately put all these people together, come up with a documentary about it. And Chris Brown is just not happy about it. So he filed that lawsuit in LA, and he accuses Discovery and production company Ample Entertainment of, quote, promoting and publishing false information in their pursuit of likes, clicks, downloads, and dollars to the detriment of Chris Brown, despite knowing it was full of lies and deception and violating basic journalistic principles. Listen, they talked about you being violent with Rihanna. We know you were. You faced the charges, didn't you? Weren't you convicted of this? We know you did that stuff with Karrueche. She got the restraining order against you. What? They're just talking about it. I don't get it. I don't get where they lied. By the way, did you guys watch that documentary? Because if you want to, I do have one of my sponsors for the morning report, Philo. If you check the bio of this video, there's a link there where you can go ahead and sign up for a free account. So they've got ID channel on their platform, and you can go ahead and watch it there if you haven't. Thank you, Layla. I'm trying to be forgiving to myself, but the saddest part about this, y'all, I used to you know how he had Team Breezy, where he still has Team Breezy? I took that a little too literal. When I would play basketball, outside of school, as a kid league, that was my name on the back of my jersey. I'm so ashamed. I'm so ashamed, you guys. I'm disgusted. But like Layla says, you live and you learn, right? So one of the Jane Does featured in the documentary about Chris's violent history, is also named as a defendant in the lawsuit, you guys. She sued him in the past, and now Chris is like, you know what? Not only was your lawsuit against me frivolous, in his words, not mine, but you went and you took those allegations and you put them on TV as well. Here you go. I am going to go ahead and sue you. So in the lawsuit, Chris says that this case is about the media putting their own profits over the truth. They did so after being provided proof that their information was false and their storytelling, Jane Doe, had not only been discredited over and over, but was in fact a perpetrator of intimate partner violence and an aggressor herself. Mr. Brown has never been found guilty of any X-related crime, but let's talk about the violence-related crime, right? But this documentary states in every available fashion that he is a serial rapist and actual abuser. This case is about protecting the truth. So he really goes in against journalists. You know, it's very much the fake news playbook, right? Which unfortunately you see all too often these days. Listen, $500 million is a lot of money. Do you guys think that Chris Brown is going to win this lawsuit? Do you think that Warner Brothers is going to settle with him? How do you think that this is ultimately going to play out? I personally would like to see this. I would like to see this play out publicly, because I hate when these people are able to use their money to quiet people, get people to run away and all that. Like, if you're going to sue people for speaking out against their alleged experiences with you, then I want for these people to be able to speak out far and wide about it, especially when it comes to someone like Chris, right? And it's just like Anike says, he's still acting like this is all just because of what he did to Rihanna. No, he has done this over several years. This documentary doesn't change anybody's opinions on him. I'm pretty sure anybody who's followed him and knows who he is has the same opinion of him based off of what we've already seen, y'all. Right? Come on now. Chip chip cheerio. He doesn't like being held accountable, but he's always terrorized women and disrespected his female fans, especially his black wine fans. I'm still not seeing how he has any black women fans. Exactly. Girl, like, if you were black, especially if you're a dark-skinned black woman and you're a Chris Brown fan, you might need to wake up. I woke up. You might need to wake up. Brittany says he really had us fooled with a sweet boy image. Exactly. He was so cute with the little dimple. He was absolutely adorable. So it's sad to see where he wound up. And finally, Alex says the documentary is very inflammatory and it's really unfair. And I'm saying this is somebody who's not a Chris Brown fan. Well, listen, Alex, thank you for leaving this, because you know what I'm going to do, y'all. And Jaleesa, please have mercy on me. I am going to go ahead. Now, with that being said, this weekend, I am going to go ahead and watch the documentary myself. I do have access to Philo, so shout out to them. I'm going to go watch it on their platform, and I'll come back on the Monday morning report. I got to write this down somewhere. I'll come back on the Monday morning report and tell y'all what I thought about it based off what I know about Chris, right? Because I do think that Chris is a mess. I do think that he is violent, and I think that he's a very long documented history of this. So with that being said, I will watch and see if I do find it to be inflammatory nonetheless. And yeah, he even attacked his own mom. I remember that too. I remember that. The guy is a mess. A mess.